Hey, I'm sorry for the late upload. Some stuff went wrong from the first time I recorded it, and I decided instead of just fixing that and re-uploading it because it wasn't a great video or synopsis of how I feel about this patch, I decided I would just re-record it, which is pretty much gonna take up even more time than if I just did that. Anyway. So let's go ahead and get into this new content update, which is actually very interesting. I'm kind of excited for it for mostly one reason, because it actually brings a lot of fun to one of the builds I've already made. So, first things first, deeply volatile Fumebeak. One, I'm really happy they went with Fumebeak. I think Pearlbeak could have been also really cool, but I've just always loved Fumebeak's design. And although I haven't actually seen the fight, I am just so excited to see all that it can do and all of that it can drop through talismans. I've already seen a little bit and got a little spoiled, but it's just so cool. The poison, we don't really have any status effect. Deeply volatile, I guess technically Grimclaw, but I just feel like it's just a really nice addition to go with Fumebeak instead of something else. Also, I just am in love with Fumebeak. It's a raven. How can you go wrong with a raven? It's so cool. The other extremely cool thing about it is the new talisman skills. So Toxic Shock, which will increase damage to health from toxins when kimono are in a poisoned state. The way I interpret this is that it will increase the damage each individual tick of poison will do to the kimono. If that is how poison works, I've honestly never poisoned a kimono. But if that's how it works, that's pretty insane. But overall, while this might be a little underwhelming, its actual talisman pool is insane and perfect, and I just am in love with it so much because it can drop mortality water, and apparently it can drop fatal foray talismans, which on top of clearly speed swallow, which is that just decreases the speed drop while drinking healing water. I don't really care about that, but if it has nimble fingers on it as well so that you can drink your healing water faster, that would go perfect in my Fatal Foray Mortality Water build. And it's on a talisman, so I can get rid of the helmet and put in something better. I am really, really stoked to see what all I can make with this. And really stoked to see all of the different talismans it drops. Because if I can get more talismans that are like Tiger's Den, Fatal Foray, I'll even take Toxic Shock and getting on some Poison Wielder, because there's just so much to this. This is my favorite part about this content update. There really isn't much to it, which I think is fine. I am pretty sure they've already stated that they're going to do one big content update and then one smaller content update throughout the months. This is one that obviously it's smaller, it's the end of the month, but I am really excited for Toxic Shock and all of the different talisman skills you can get from deeply volatile Fumebeak. I don't know why my voice is cracking, but it is. So we're gonna just stick with it. And then the new special quests, which are serial hunts. Serial hunts are where you are given a list of kimono to hunt in a given region, and the more kimono that you beat without fainting or failing the quest will get you more rewards. These are all mighty kimono. You can apparently do them in solo or multiplayer, but I also saw on the Reddit that they don't allow multiplayer matchmaking. So I'm assuming you would have to open up a lobby and then do those hunts with people who join your lobby rather than just start the hunt, matchmake, and then be put into a hunt. I think that's to stop people from being able to join multiplayer games that are already in session, where people like request for help or whatever, and getting more rewards off of what that first group or person was doing. So say someone goes in, does the first 3, and then someone jumps in, well, they're on the 4th round. So this might just be a quick way to kind of limit that without having to fuss with some form of code or something to deal with that. You know, that probably is what it is, and I don't think that's a bad way to do it. Plus, it makes it so you are making lobbies to do these quests. However, the next thing that I feel like you should do is make it so that these lobbies can have more than 3 people or 4 people or whatever the maximum is, and have a big, like Monster Hunter, gathering hub of hunters all doing the same kinds of quests so people can quickly find their group and then go from there. I think these are fine. It's interesting that they are mighty kimono that give deeply volatile, or not deeply volatile, but volatile rewards in terms of like armor cladding, core orbs, and all that stuff. It's really interesting to me that they chose to do that instead of having them all be the volatile versions. But I guess since these are timed, it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't have them be the volatile, because most people who aren't full end game or full sitting there grinding out a percentage talisman because they already have like the best, it makes sense to have them be the mighty version so people can actually sit there and farm them. As well as I know some people have issues with volatile versions, whereas they're too hard or something of the sort. So I don't mind that they give the armor cladding orbs or any of that stuff. I think it's fine. And that's kind of it for the updates. I'm really excited to be farming out Death Haze Gloombeak. I have not spoiled myself for the fight. I'm excited to take a look into those today and kind of really get a feel for it. Excited to see the drops. I hope to test out a poison build. My hopes are that it's good enough that I can make some really funny stuff with it. But even if it's not that great, it's still something. And since I don't really fuck with a lot of talisman, or not talisman, but status effects, I'm interested to see if poison can add enough of an effect to where I might as well just throw it in and toss on some toxic shock talismans, because, well, that's all you can get toxic shock on is a talisman. So overall, I'm kind of excited about this patch. Even though it is small, it's got a good chunk of content because it has a serial hunt for every single region. So I'm pretty excited for it. I am kind of curious what you think would be the next good deeply volatile kimono, since clearly they are taking older kimono and making them deeply volatile. I want to know what everyone else's thought on what they would like to see as a deeply volatile kimono. Because what I want to see is them take the whole Kolftaroth, Safi'jiiva, Behemoth route that Monster Hunter World had, which means that they probably will need to actually make a gathering hub where people can actually all kind of congregate together, but make it a deeply volatile Earthbreaker, where essentially the Earthbreaker that we fought was just a baby, and this is the big mama bear who's mad. And you go in and have that kind of raid style where you go in one hunt, you break an arm, you go into the other hunt, you break another arm, you go into the hunt, you break the back, the torso, the whatever, and then the final hunt is you facing it like its face and it's doing its arm thing. Like, I feel like it could be a really cool design. Whether or not they'll do it, they probably won't. I don't see them really giving too much love to Earthbreaker, but I could be wrong. Who knows? That's just something that I've thought of and really wanted to see them take that step towards a more raid-like mechanic of a boss rather than these easily soloable kimono or deeply volatile or whatever. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on the content update. I don't really think there's I think I had a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to say, but it's now long gone out of my brain, so we're going to just end the video, and if I think about it later, we'll go ahead and think about it later and make another video later. I wish you all the best of luck in your deeply volatile, what the fuck is its name? Death Haze Gloombeak hunts, and I hope you can get some really good talismans from it. If you do, I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed this video or any of my videos, please, leave a like and subscribe, because it does kind of help me, and it's actually really useful. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.